Hey guys, I've decided to add in some results at the beginning of pack 2 just for accountability and transparency. So the entire pack is recorded and I'm kind of going back retroactively and doing this intro because I think it's important for you guys, due to the exploitative nature of this pack, to have faith in what I'm teaching. And I think what better way for you to have faith than to see some results. And the thing that I think is really cool about the results I'm going to show you is that these are hands from like September to January. This is my Bodog sample, Bovada Bodog, whatever. And this was as I started to train myself into the independent learning process. This was like sort of just the beginning of it, when I started to really take advantage of the clairvoyant hand history options. And then it sort of started to take flight from there. I'm not sure if I outlined exactly like how this process took off for me, but it basically started with me deciding to make more aggressive changes to my game on account of a lot of the money that I saw myself folding away in the clairvoyant hand history reviews that you can get on Bovada, like within 24 hours after your session. So it sort of started that way, and then the entire simplified learning pattern sort of came from that initial glimpse into sort of coming face to face with how much I actually was projecting on my own environment, and it was humbling in a way. And it got me thinking that a lot of these mixed strategies that I was trying to apply on the flop were not actually netting me the EV that I thought. And then it led into me studying the environment more, breaking down the alias into subcategories, and really starting to put a lot of emphasis on mass database environmental work. Range versus range interaction stemmed out from there. So I actually haven't played a hand in like maybe 2 months, 2.5 months, because I've been going really in depth with the range versus range interaction study to prepare for what you're going to see in this pack. I do still look at a lot of hands because my main partner that I work with when modeling is a former student who also plays on Bovada. And it's interesting because his style, as we were going off in this process together, because he sort of like came with me on it, we were in a larger group together and I was going in a different direction. I said, guys, I have to go do this and see where it takes me. Anybody who wanted to come with, I'm going. And this kid did come off with me, and we started to work together at like probably upwards of 10 hours, 15 hours a week, I would say, for about 3 months straight, from maybe like October through, well, maybe I think it was more like November through February. Maybe we put in like, I don't know, 100 hours together of PO work or something. And the fruits of that uh, led me into Pack 2 for the most part. So here's my results for that period of September through I think end of January, which is the day that I probably played my last hand. And I've been working with that partner since then because he still plays on Bovada regularly, and that's how I sort of hone my range versus range interaction subtleties, I guess, from there. And I'm still seeing a lot of hands because I work with a lot of students across a lot of environments. So just for accountability there. It's not like I've been away from the tables. I just choose to do this because I think it's more relevant for what I'm trying to do with my life, which is coach. So this is, I don't know, 55,000 hands, 120K profit. It's about $2 a hand, which is pretty sweet. I can show you the output for it, which would look like this. It's pretty much a dead split. It's actually a little bit more 1020 than 510, and the EV is 15. So that was before I even like knew a lot of stuff that's in this pack, because this is progressive. Like pack 2 is the result of like everything that I knew post January, which is at the peak of this graph. You can see that red line difference come up. I was playing a little bit more heads up, I think, toward the end, but you can see where I started to really pile in on a lot of my environmental takeaways, I guess. The more trends that I picked up in the environment, uh, a lot of which I alluded to in pack 1, but a lot more that you're going to see in pack 2, I would say, because we're going to get really exploitative with it. That's what's causing this. And again, I want to stress that I never had the intention of devising my strategy around having a high red line. Having a high red line was the effect of what I found out was incentivized by the leaks that were in the environments. And this is not just for Bovada. This is for basically all sites that I've confirmed have redline leaks or passivity leaks in a lot of the major spots that I'm going to expose in pack 2. Bovada clearly plays worse than maybe like PokerStars 500 Zoom for sure, but I think you guys are going to be surprised at some of the mass database filter similarities in mandatory defense frequency leaks across pretty much all environments. I'm pretty sure that it's safe to say that high red line numbers are incentivized as far as like the highest win rates that you could have across the environments right now, meaning that the environments are just too passive in nature. So here's 15 BBs per 100, and it's not even from like where I really had pack 2 knowledge, which is what you guys are going to get now, is like the refined version of the peak of this graph. And then here's my buddy who he was kind enough to send me his hands since looks like August when we started to go off on our own together, and he's actually put more volume in than me because he's a grinder, and I was kind of more the inventor. So he's doing about $1 a hand with a BB EV of looks like about 10, and he plays I think pretty much strictly 510 on Bovada. So I think that should be enough to confirm that this shit works, and I'm hoping to ease your guys' concerns about maybe having a little bit of tentativeness toward the exploitative nature of some of the stuff I'm gonna encourage over the course of this pack. Please, as usual, implement it at your own comfort level, but trust that if I'm advocating it, I think that it's sound enough for you to implement immediately. And you guys do have pack 1 foundations already, so it's not like you're just walking into this thing blind. I think you're well equipped to pretty much pick up all, if not the vast majority of the stuff I'm about to recommend. So without further ado, let's get into it, and let's start lacing some context